Saved the king, killed a giant. We've been through it all. I could fill up a tome. But you're not coming home. Well, we all saw it happen. We're the ones you saved. Gonna light you a candle. Gonna tell your tale by the light of the moon. We'll remember you, dying a hero. Tried to help you with that diamond, but it wouldn't save your soul. On that fateful day, the evil wizard came. Now everybody in this realm is singing out your name. Can you hear us sitting out there in the astro?
Let's see. Okay. Road. Okay, good. Got that. All right, got my video.
From the depths of the dungeons to the tavern brawls, saved the king, killed a giant. We've been through it all. I could fill up a tome. But you're not coming home. Well, we all saw it happen. We're the ones you saved. Gonna light you a candle. Gonna tell your tale by the light of the moon. We'll remember you, dying a hero. Tried to help you with that diamond, but it wouldn't save your soul. On that fateful day, the evil wizard came. Now everybody in this realm is singing out your name. Can you hear us sitting out there in the astral plane? Our adventures together went to hell and back. Spent the day slaying dragons and escaping traps, but massive damage is done. Now you're really gone. But we'll remember you, dying a hero. Tried to help you with that diamond, but it wouldn't save your soul. On that fateful day, the evil wizard came. astral plane. 1,000 years you've been reigning terror, stroking up fears from deep in your lair. We're here to tell you that your time has come. This is our kingdom today.
Who are the fools who would dare threaten me?
Dragon can fall, we'll slay you with our mighty sword. Dragon can fall, your heart will soon be ours. Dragon can fall, you are the beast we're training for. We are the party who dare threaten you. We have no fear of your ancient power. Your weapon fire will not make us cower. We're here to tell you that the spells are cast. You will not last the night.
You are the fools who will now feel my wrath.
Dragon can fall, we'll slay you with our mighty sword. Dragon can fall, your heart will soon be ours. Dragon can fall, you are the beast we're training for. We are the party who now will fight back. Quick, grab the magic bow. All distracted. You'll never defeat me, dragon.
Prepare to meet your doom.
Dragon can fall. We slayed him with our mighty swords. Dragon can fall. His heart will now be ours. Dragon can fall. He was the beast we're training for. We are the party who claim victory.
Hello! Welcome everyone to Office Hours. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday, this June 26th. It's me, Devon, and I'm really excited that you're here. I don't think there's any tech issues. It's really funny. I was reading some, I was reading Shavek's comment in chat, and it's funny because there is a lot of technology here, and I do try to do this with the least amount of tech, or like streamline. So it really is just with like an iPhone and a lav mic. Because the more I add, it's just more to keep track of. And it's also, you know, this is supposed to be light and quick, focused on answering questions and sharing big updates. And it's also just me. And I'm always coming from another meeting. But team, happy Friday. There's so much going on with everyone. I hope you're all having fantastic weeks. I hope all your games are full and you got great new bookings coming in. Let me bring up Office Hours and we can start chatting. If you're brand new here, welcome. Office Hours is the wonderful time where we talk about, hey, this is what we're working on. This is what's new. These are like some research we've done. This is some tests we're going to run. These are the outcomes of tests. Along with what's on the horizon and any questions that you have. Now, if you do have a question, make sure you type question in all caps, followed by your question, so I can easily see it in chat and I can get to it. So let's go ahead and kick things off. Kids games, we have a name. We have a name. We're not sharing it yet, though. We're not sharing it yet, though, but we do have a name. Gen Con is coming up. There's a few cool callouts. If you are already running games at Gen Con or you're going to Gen Con and you're looking to run more games, the fine folks over at Son of Oak also sent us a form that they said, hey, if any Start Playing GMs want to run any games, let them know that we're looking for GMs to run games and we're looking to compensate them. So there's a form in the Discord that GMs can fill out. So there's an update there. We also had a great push from the fine folks over at Pirate Borg with a activation that we recently launched that has been fantastic. We did a sort of Pirate Borg branded Learn to Play quiz, and this branded Learn to Play quiz is for people that Pirate Borg essentially feel like, hey, these folks haven't played the game yet. We think that the fact that they just haven't found anyone to play, Start Playing is probably a great opportunity for them. The Learn to Play quiz reduces so much friction for a lot of people where they go to Start Playing and they can put in their selections. And while there's many games, Learn to Play really can kind of just find you something instantly, right? Because it creates this bounty. It did fantastic. We saw something like 9 or 11 yesterday and a few this morning. So that went great. I think we're going to, we're also doing the same thing with Invincible and hopefully the same thing with Renegade, and we're going to be doing something similar with Cosmere. So get ready with your Learn to Plays. Now, talking about bounties, Player Bounties is also kicking off probably early July, maybe mid to late July at the latest. But Player Bounties is something that's being worked on. I think I've talked about it a little bit before, or I know I've talked about it on office hours before. But Player Bounties is different from Learn to Play bounties. A player bounty is where a player says, I am looking for X, Y, and Z. And here are all the details that I want out of a game. Now, we have been thinking about this for quite some time, and we've seen desire from some user interview, but we've also started to see, if you are have access to the bounty board, people using the bounty board like this. People are submitting Learn to Play bounties, but they're putting in the notes like, oh, we actually want like a high level D&D. Like they're using the bounty board like this, which is really interesting. So that's what's been kind of interesting is to find a way to tweak this. So and you know, I shouldn't be quiet, team, but you let me know. It shows here that I'm pretty loud. Yeah, I'm pretty loud here on my Sounds good on my end. Your volume is fine. I view it 25%. Okay, great. Thanks. When I have one person mention it, it's like it's probably not a thing, but when I have two people mention it, I feel I have to do a sound check. So player bounties doesn't create a request that a GM can claim. So right now, when a Learn to Play bounty comes in, it's something that a game master can just go and grab and create a game with. Player bounties is going to actually create sort of kind of more or less a bounty where game masters can submit their listings or their adventures for that player to review. Now, only 3 can be sent to review. So if a player's like, hey, I'm looking to play, let's say, what's a good example? I want to play Mythic Bastionland, and I'm really looking for this kind of vibe. I want to play Tuesdays at 6 p.m., and it's me and my 3 buddies, and we want to pay $30 a person. So that's what they want, and they want it to be, and they might even say, and we're okay if another 1 or 2 people join, but the 4 of us definitely want to play together. Up to 3 GMs who see this can say, hey, I would love to run this. I'll run it, and you can't change the price. So everyone's kind of locked in at the price that the player chooses. So GMs can't underbid each other. And if the player, I think it's $25 is the floor. So the player can't say anything less than $25. And then the GMs can say, hey, I love running Mythic Bash, or the GM can say, hey, here's my Mythic Bashland adventure if you want to play with me. And up to 3 different adventures can be submitted. The player then can look at these 3 different adventures and figure out which one sounds the right fit for them. Look at the different GMs, which GM they feel like they'll vibe with the most, and then pick from that list. And the other GMs will get notes saying, hey, your bounty wasn't picked, or your submission expired, or the bounty expired. We think this is a great approach to it, knowing before that we were essentially doing like an exact match, and a lot of those didn't end up working. And what we heard from players is like, well, they kind of want a bit of choice, but they don't want too much choice. So we feel limited to 3 also means that there's not too many GMs who are creating listings and submitting these, but at the same time, now GMs are getting kind of this direct intent of like what people are looking for. Let's see. So that is player bounties. That's what's coming soon. What also is coming, that's like an expanded. That's like expanding the bounty board. What also is coming is if the bounty board continues to do really well and it continues to expand. Right now, there's a 1.8% bounty expiration rate, and there's a 90% bounty transaction rate. So most bounties end up like working. But if we begin to see more volume come through and the GMs who have access to that cannot serve that volume, we might create like a kind of a rolling access. So like X GMs, like the GMs who currently have it, top GMs, they get access, or they get the bounties for the first 24 hours, and then other GMs get it for the next. That might be a way we will tackle if we start to see too many bounties come through and the supply of GMs can't meet that demand. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think so. But there's another situation that we will probably roll out in the next 3 or 4 weeks that we've been working on, which is bounty matching. So bounty matching is where if you are requesting a game and like you're going through the flow and you're like, I want to play D&D 5.5. I want to play Tuesdays at 6 p.m. I want to play on D&D Beyond and D&D Beyond maps. And I want to, you have all your details picked out. And there's a game, a starter set game that already exists that matches that. We will slot you into that game instead of creating a new bounty. And we know we can slot you into that game because the GM has created that starter set game for this. We know it's a starter set game. We know the GM has essentially already probably likely claimed a bounty and has created that, so we can slot in another player into that rather than creating 2 duplicate bounties. There is a rare occurrence that happened the other day where a few friends joined a game and they all joined at the same time. But if you essentially tiered their joining and someone had created, a GM had claimed it right away, all those consecutives would go into one game. Let's see. Let me go and see what else we got here. A bunch of new event changes. You will soon be able to see what events are happening on your dashboard. So when you log in as a GM and you go to your dashboard, you'll see what events are going on, even if the event isn't live yet. So that'll also be where if you're in Discord and we ping about events and you see like the join link and or not join link, but like hey, do you want to apply to get materials for this event? That'll be in your dashboard now too. So that'll be another place where you can be notified about events before they are live, so you can get early access to promotional PDFs, rules, VTT access, etc. Okay, we got some questions. Question, $25 is the floor, new minimum, big frackin' sword. Big frackin' sword, that is for a player-created bounty. So player-created bounty is a new feature that is launching. I don't know how much you had missed of that, but player bounties are different from learn to play bounties. A player bounty is essentially kind of like a, hey, I want to play this, and here are the specifics, and I kind of fill out all these details, and I go through a pretty, like a form almost on StartPlaying, like a quiz. And all those details show of a request of some sort. GMs can see this, and they can essentially say like, hey, I would like to run this. Here's my listing, and here's how I run this. And then the player can look over 3 different GMs, their 3 adventures, and choose which one they'd want. In the meantime, when the GM submits these adventures are usually live and active. So people could also be seeing them on the marketplace and join them. So a player who might not already have a group, but be like, hey, I would love to play this. I don't have a group yet, but I'd be looking to find a group. I'd like to start a group. You might also have people in your community who would be interested in this game too. So you could say like, hey, this person wants to join this game. I already have 3 players. So it's a great way to kind of pitch people on joining an adventure. So that's what that is, Big Frackin' Sword. It has nothing to do with learn to play. King Eblin, it sounds like you'll be requiring new templates for this bounty matching. Is that correct? No, I don't understand what I said implied that. So if you maybe can ask your question, if you could rephrase it, because I want to make sure I clarify any confusion. Let's see, Chris Payak, writer, question, could StartPlaying provide stats on skipped sessions and canceled games for us GMs as well? It helps get a realistic idea of monthly turnover potential. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, like, canceled games and skipped sessions is somewhere around like 90% of people are playing in their games regularly. So if you're looking at like how many people a month are gonna miss a session, maybe 10%. But it depends if there's a holiday too, For example, Father's Day, way less people skipped Father's Day than didn't, which is funny. But like Mother's Day, like there's always we'll see a lot of people skip those days. It also depends on your players. Like some players who don't celebrate certain holidays, and some GMs will run with like if you have a table that's mixed of people that are in the West and maybe in Europe, there's different holidays that are celebrated, right? And so I do know one GM who will be running one shots for their European players because they have 2 players who will be taking holiday in the US because of a holiday. And the European players are like, well, we'd still like to play. And so they'll be running a one shot. So it really kind of depends on you as a GM, like how you run things. Because there's a lot of GMs who will run a one shot. And they'll find ways to essentially accommodate when players can't make it. Question, could we get a hide this or at least a clear this notification for bounties? I keep seeing the red dot and getting excited, but it's just a Morkborg one I already saw. Keith Langley, maybe. Probably, low on the focus, but probably when we revisit the actual bounty board admin, that's probably something we would look at where we kind of clear it if you've looked at it. Thanks. I meant for my own games, I keep track of these things. Maybe. I've never heard a GM ask me for those things, so I've never known that to be something that was valuable. I would recommend, if you could, submit this as a feature request and a little bit more about like what that helps you with, so that when we start looking back at other insights and things like that, I can look at your use case and keep that in mind for how we look at data and the value of it. And especially when we go to do research, we can take your submission and use that as part of like the questions that we develop when we ask other GMs. And that'd be really valuable. Dreamslaver question, is there a player, if a player signed up for 2 players and one of them is skipping, will you have it so a single seat can be skipped? You can just change the price. Right now that solves much of the problem. So we haven't created like a skip per player because it's pretty easy just to change that price. That's why we haven't built that feature. Big Frackin' Sword. My $25 question was in reference to saying that is that the minimum a player can ask for so far as bounties. So new average minimum on StartPlaying. Big Frackin' Sword. So there's no minimum on StartPlaying. We're just saying for player bounties, there's a $25 minimum. That's not learn to play. So I really want to make sure I'm clarifying on that. Player bounties, which is a new feature which we haven't launched yet, where you essentially can request any type of custom game. So like, oh, I'm looking for this campaign, or I'm looking for like, a one shot for this bachelor party, or things like that. The minimum per player cost is going to be $25. We're making that a flat because the assumption is there's going to be a lot of requests, a lot of customization in that request, and so we don't want to make it a race to the bottom. So I think the minimum we made it was $25. Let me know if that answers your question. King Eblin, I'm unsure how the player matching thing works. If you already have if you've already claimed a bounty from the bounty board, and another bounty comes in that matches a bounty that you've already claimed, it would just slide that into your game. So you wouldn't be creating a new template. It's like if someone requested a game at 6 p.m. For D&D with all these same details, and you claimed that bounty, and you created an adventure, and that player's now in it, and another bounty came in that's matching the exact details of a game that you've now created from a bounty, it'll just put that player into your game rather than creating a new bounty. King, let me know if that answers your questions. Dreamslaver, no, it doesn't allow for the player to skip on their end. It's still within the GM to go ahead and make that change. Let's see. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Start playing in navigation for kids, bounty matching, driving traffic from kids. Okay, so this is we don't know how we're going to do this one yet because we haven't come up with the right copy for it yet. But this is one that has been requested by a lot of GMs and a lot of players. Oh, here we go. Will the new in-progress, in-person games feature larger areas than cities or allow collaboration with local game stores? Yes. Jake, astounding. Bounty. So there was a lot of GMs who've been asking, a lot of players that actually been asking about being able to filter out games that use generative AI for their thumbnails, or the GMs that use generative AI. And that is actually really hard to do. I've kind of talked about that here before, that's a hard thing for GMs to, or for us to do, because one, we'd have to go and we have to look at every piece of art that is ever uploaded, and we'd have to essentially decide as humans, as people, is this AI or not? Or we'd have to ask everyone to go ahead and mark their art AI or not. And if they are untruthful, then we have to be arbiter when someone reports it, right? So it becomes this kind of like very tricky thing to manage. Now, you could create AI that determines if something is AI, but most of those tools have failed when we've looked and we've given them actual human-made art. But I was walking Valentine the other day, and an idea kind of came to me that I think will probably approach this problem in a pretty unique way. And so we're going to be looking at rolling out some interesting solutions to that probably end of July. And we think it'll essentially just like require a lot of GMs who are passionate about either or to kind of really opt into it. But I think this will satiate a lot of the needs from players who are looking for games that really identify as not using AI. And I think that's what's important to them. And so doing this, I think we can also then measure to see if there's an impact in people being able to look at games that don't have that, and does that help them find those games? And then also being able to look to see, hey, what does better? And we do know that like there's a demographic switch from interviewing users, but we also don't know, that's from like interviews. We also don't know like what users actually do, right? And so we also want to do like a kind of analysis on what images people are booking with, because you could ask someone who fits in that X demographic, what are your opinions on X thumbnails, and they could have X, but they could have still booked a certain way, not even knowing, because they were unaware of it. But we do know that like Gen X and Boomer demographic are more, they don't really have a strong opinion against generative AI art thumbnails, whether millennials and Gen Z have a much stronger opinion. And so after hearing a lot of feedback, we've just really been trying to figure out how can we work with this. And so I think we have a solve. We're going to try to see what we can do in July and see if this kind of helps address a lot of those player concerns. The big cool, I noticed my profile says top GM. When did I get that? When did that badge show up and why? The big cool, it's always been there. It's always been there. And why? Because you're the big cool. No, you should actually have an email that talks about why you got that and the stats that, the reasons why you have that, if you want to check your email. Question, if someone is following our game, it's mysterious. Would it be possible to maybe have them be able to select a reason they're following so we can gauge interest? Dark Soul, no, here's the thing. Players, all they want is to be like, the more you ask of that, the less likely people want to do something. You want to reduce that friction as much as possible, because it also then creates a social proof for other people. If someone sees your game, they see there's people following it, cool. There's a little bit of interest there. There's people following this game. That's interesting, right? It's also this great thing that happens when people book in your game. Those followers are going to get notified that someone's not booked in your game. For the most part, we talked to people who about the idea of following and whatnot. They don't want to have any conversation with GMs. They essentially are either hedging their bets with follows, or they want to come back to something later. And so that's why we've kept it very basic. It has only moderately improved conversion, but it's definitely removed the hedging of bet folks where they book in multiple games. Now they're essentially just kind of like following, and they're booking in the game that they want the most. But we do think there's just kind of like this nice long tail to it. If you want GMs to self-report AI use, will you allow them to? No, we're not going to have self-report AI use. DM DeMarc, we're not going to be doing that. Is there a way to message all people that are following your games? No, because people who follow games don't want to be messaged. That was a big thing we learned when we were doing research about following, and you want to like be updated on the game. They don't want, if they wanted to know more from a GM, they would have messaged, is like the big thing we heard. And so these are people that like, they go into a store and the last thing they want is the person to go and ask them, do you have any questions? Can I help you find something? They want to be left alone and they want to look around. And so the idea of and that's a big thing where like they know like I can follow this. I don't have to worry about having to interact or answer any questions. And I know that's sometimes frustrating to a GM because you're like, if I could just message them, I know I could probably convince them to join this game. But they don't want that. And that means that messaging them probably won't get them to join the game. Yeah, nobody wants the hard sell. And if someone does want the hard sell, they'll message you. Can I help you find anything? The exit, please. I want to leave. Let's see. yeah, player bounties is the biggest thing we've been working on outside of events and kids stuff. And kids stuff has just been big work. Oh my gosh, it's taken up everything, team. Along with like a handful of like cool marketing projects, like the branded Pirate Borg quiz, which was really fun. But the kid stuff. So we're launching the Learn Worlds, which I think I've talked about this. When you start, you'll have to get your 5 reviews from parents, essentially like 5 references, and then you'll have to take a Learn Worlds, which is kind of like a quiz. Like you have to go and take this course. It's not crazy hard, but you have to essentially like, hey, like running games for kids, like here's what you need to know, like here's what a responsible adult does in this situation. Essentially, that's kind of like a vibe check, like, hey, do you know actually how to run games for kids? And then you have to take the application. And once you've done all of that, then you'll be put into a wait list or a queue to then have your background checked. Once your background's checked, then I believe that is the last step, and then you can start making games on StartPlaying. I don't think there's another step after that, but this will all show up in the FAQs, and in about like 3 to 5 weeks, we will have we'll start inviting the GMs who signed up to be notified first on the StartPlaying for Kids landing page. They'll be the first ones to know about this. So if you want to be the very first person to know, you'd go to that landing page and you'd sign up. You can find the link to that in the footer on the StartPlaying website. Those are the first folks who will get notified. Once we hit 100 GMs that are going to be the beta group for StartPlaying for Kids. That's going to be the beta group. Once we hit 100, we're going to close applications. We're not going to have any more applications. We're not even going to allow people to go through the application process. We're just going to close it because we're going to say, cool, from here, we're going to see how these first 100 do. Do these people commit? What we want to essentially see from those 100, what do the metrics look like? Because that's going to help us determine what do we need to charge for the application fee, because we don't want to charge the entire background check fee, but paying for the entire background check is very expensive. And we also want to know that the people who are joining are going to be committed, so we want to have some costs associated with it. And we looked at places like, we looked at a number of different, like Rover, and a few other places that have a fee for taking the background check. And so we want to heavily subsidize it, but we want to know how much we should be charging based off of how many GMs end up actually committing to the platform from those 100. And then those first 100 are going to be like the beta group that we're going to go ahead and like start recruiting players and see how things work with and work out the early problems with the platform. And then once we figure that out, we're going to start opening it up to more GMs every month. So the cost of kids games is very expensive. The background checks, the recordings, it is very, very expensive. The fees on kids games are going to be a lot higher. We're still working that. I'll probably have that dialed in at the next office hours. But it is the way to make it make financial sense. We also require, if you skip a game, you're still going to be charged for that because you're signing up for the entire campaign. So you, the GM, we think that that's going to help a lot with it. If you have 5 players in a game, they're signing up for the entire thing. The only way you can kind of essentially drop out from that charge is leaving the campaign. We think that's going to help with a lot of it, but the cost of recording these sessions, storing these sessions to make sure that they're accessible on a server in case anything goes wrong, all the kind of compliance that goes in to make sure we're good stewards of kids games, that's just part of it. And so that's the reality. But we'll have kind of an idea come next office hours. We got some questions. I have a question. Can follows be made visible from mobile view and or the DM dashboard side? I think they are made. I think they are visible from the mobile view, but I don't think from the dashboard side. I think the big thing is like they're supposed to be something that is visible on the game. I would love to know what value those follows are on the GM dashboard side for you. Is it just like vanity metrics, or is there something else that like that you want to know, or where would you want to see that? Let's see. Any reason why there is no TikTok social link for the profile? Orbital. Yeah, you know what? I think it's just one of those things that just hasn't been prioritized. Is those social links? They're very rarely clicked, and so it's just out of all things that we focus on, it's not as prioritized. But if you want to submit that as a feature request, that'll likely be something that someone on the team will see and probably pick up on a random Tuesday. The Amethyst Tankard is so excited for kids games. I'm a Girl Scout leader who runs Magical Kitties and Daggerheart for my daughter and her friends. Rock and roll, I love that. Jack Be Brutal, extremely encouraged by the serious approach to kids safety. Thank you so much. We are too. We like I said, like we want to be like the best stewards of kids. We looked at what everyone is doing, like we want to do, and we're doing a few levels above that. If we have a current valid DBS check, can that be used? I'm in the UK. Unfortunately, it's only open to US residents at this time. Kids games are US only for now, right? Will it be international in time? Maybe. That really is a conversation that's going to be with our lawyers. The background check, there's like 10 things that the background check's doing: a social trace, alias trace, criminal, sex offender registry, county, state, federal, and a few other things. But if we go international, that's going to change a lot of our terms of service. So it's one of those things like, is kids games going to work? I think it is. But if it doesn't, it would be crazy to build out this entire platform to service US and international if we don't even know if it's going to work. It's kind of like, hey, let's start a restaurant and let's open across the US and let's open in Canada, Mexico, and Europe, and nobody's had the food yet. and that's kind of like the thinking behind it, right? We want to make sure like that people want to eat here. But what if the kid needs to skip due to being sick or family emergency or the internet going down? Dream Sleeper. I mean, the thing is, they're signing up for the entire campaign. So if they have to skip, they can skip, but they are still paying for the session. As a parent, and as many kids services or kids programs, you don't pay per session. If you sign up for a summer camp, you don't pay per day. You pay for the entire camp. If you pay for ballet lessons, you don't pay per class. You pay for the entire enrollment. And so what we've seen time and time again, especially with youth programs, is there isn't a per class pricing model that is common. Most pricing models are for the entire enrollment period, and so that is the process that we are going with, because it is something that parents are already used to. It is something that is what is kind of required to make the financials work for GMs and for us, because of the level of safety and the level of compliance that we want to make sure we're doing to be the right place for kids to find games. Let's see. Quantar, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, there's never a time where I'm going to say like it's not internet. Like I'm going to roll it out or rule it out. But we just want to first make sure that like we got something. We want to make sure we got something. And the idea is like, I mean, like we got to. I mean, like I want to have this in Singapore. I think it'd be great. So, are there plans to, if kids games are successful, go international? Absolutely. Let's see. Bar-D McFly. So do kids games have an expected end date in that case so parents have an idea on what the enrollment period fee is? Boom! Great question. Yes, no, maybe. And I answered that question truthfully 3 times. So there is a ongoing kind of campaign style for kids games. There is a definitive end style for campaign style, and there is the ability to change it back. So you could say, hey, this campaign will end on X date. So parents can look and say, this has 12 sessions to it. I'm going to sign my kid up for it. But you could say, oh my gosh, nobody could make the 11th session, so we're going to go ahead and reschedule and have a 13th session because I talked to all the parents and they said, yes, we can do 1 more week. So yes, no, and maybe. Barty McFly, I hope that answers your question. Jack B. Brutal, question, not really. Derek, you use the same Slack notification that I do. Okay, that's not a question. Let's see. Let me go to... Oh, I have a fun question for you. I really need a good name for our new merch. I need a good name for our new merch. The first person in this chat to come up with a great name for it, I will give them the newest merch for free. Now, the name right now is Chaotic Chaotic. Chaotic Chaotic. This is the new merch. Boom. This is it. Here it is. Check it out. All right. So we need a good name for it, though. All right. Also, put that in the old chat right there. This just dropped. I just put it. Also, I think where is this? Oh yeah, there it is. Save. I'm also going to put this in chat too. Cool. All right, bam. We still have mystery shirts going on right now. I think the mystery shirts are $7.70 or something. But this is the design. Boom. Look at it. Look at it. Okay, I'm going to read your names. Chaotic. I know what I've got. Ooh, don't tempt me. I live very far away, Devon. That's a very long name for a merch. Roll for merch. Catty Chaos. Kittios. Dungeon Meowster. Roll for Permissive. Chaotic Cat. Catastrophe. Roll for Initiative right off the table. Karsh. Big Stretch. I don't know. I kind of like Mittens. Roll for Initiative. BBEC. BBEC is Big Bad End Kitten. That's funny, actually. I like that. Roll for Cat. Roll for Cat is kind of good because Roll for Cat is just right there. Meow Zedong. Catastrophe. Start playing right. Meow. Oh, damn. That's real good. That's real good. Big Bad Evil Cat. Long Rest. DM Hurting Cats. Acid Stretch. Kitten. Critten Kitten. That's a good one too. I like that. Power Word Meow. Okay. Team updates. Power Word Meow. Start playing right. Meow. Critten Kitten. These are some pretty good. Y'all pretty good. Y'all pretty good at this. In case you kitten, Kitty Crits. Powered Meow is really good. Powered Meow. Bad Kitty, that's good. Remind me, who said Powered Meow? Right, Start Playing Right Now was Odd Squirrel. And Critten Kitten. Who said Critten Kitten? Critty made me cry. Bartand. 'Twas I, powered meow, Bartand and Lees. Okay. Bartand and Lees, I like that. Bartand and Lees. Hold on one second. Hey. What do you guys think?
No, that's okay.
Start playing right meow
Oh, yeah.
or power word kitten?
Or Power Kitten?
Power word kitten.
Power Word Kitten. I don't get that one.
Okay.
I
Like
get
powered kill. Like the spell.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't get that one.
Okay, you haven't leveled out that high yet. Okay. All right. Okay. I would like Bart and Lee's Odd Squirrel. And who wrote Crit and Kitten? Who wrote Crit and Kitten? Oh, it's Powered Meow. Oh, I wrote Powered Meow. Who's Crit and Kitten? Who wrote Crit and Kitten? Oh, David Forio, Start Playing. That's really good too. Okay, I'm gonna put that in the. That is David Foria. David Foria. Crit and Kitten was.
Devin,
Yeah.
20
Cat 20.
Dungeon Meowster.
Cat 20. Cat 20 is cute. Fail witching. These are the ones that I think are Crit and Kitten.
Okay.
Start Playing Right Meow. Powered Meow and Start Playing.
They're all good. And Dungeon Meowster is really good. Those are all fucking badass.
Okay. I'm gonna have the so David Forunia, Feywild Witchling, Odd Squirrel, and Barton Lees. Message me on Discord so I know your Discord handles because I'm gonna let the team vote on your ideas because those four are my favorite. Powered Meow, Start Playing Right Meow, Crit and Kitten, and Start Playing. Okay, this is really good. Okay, well now that we got through that, we can get back to real work. Good job, team. Make sure to message me on Discord or tag me in the Discord. Okay, let's see. What else do we got? We talked about kids games, play different drownies. I gotta check the anonymous questions Q&A. Okay. Start Playing currently has a veteran identity tag. It seems there seems to be some confusion. RPG gaming veteran or military veteran? As a military veteran, is it possible to have SVG clarify this tag, my registration, to rename it to military veteran, and then add another tag for active military? Additionally, stolen valor is a big issue as well for those things that served. Is there a way to verify someone's background for third-party entities such as ID.me? So while it's not something we can do with identity tags to have an ID.me integration for those, we definitely, though, can probably change, and that makes sense to maybe change that tag to be military veteran, and maybe add another one for active military. I think that makes sense. I never thought of it as game veteran, which is, I always thought of it as like if I saw veteran somewhere, I'm like a military veteran. That's a great question. Thank you, Anonymous. Yeah, we'll end up changing that to military veteran. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Yeah, I always thought it was military veteran too. I didn't see any confusion there, but this person feels there was confusion, or they said there was confusion, so it could be. I don't see a problem with being more clear about it. Odd Squirrel question, not a question, but by the way, Devon, we're up to 681 players registered for Start Playing game events at Gen Con. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I love that. The Amethyst Tankard, I was confused about the veteran thing. That goes for me for just assuming. I made an ass out of myself, because when you assume, you make an ass out of me. Let's see. Question, for events, if you post a listing, but a game never ends up firing, are there any consequences? Oh, yeah. Ace. There are consequences. Often, you won't know what those consequences are till it's too late. Let's see, any other questions? No, Ace. There are not direct consequences, but if you have joined a number of events and you don't have any games associated with them, it could affect being included in future events. And it's essentially like, hey, you've been in like 3-4 events and you've never had a game fire for any of those events, you might not get asked to participate in future events. And it's also, like some publishers are a little more forgiving. Some are like, hey, we just love tons of GMs to get into this. Sometimes it's about the act of getting new GMs to learn the system. Sometimes it's like, hey, we really want people playing during this time. So it is definitely kind of all over the place. But I would say if you had 1 or 2 events where you just nothing fired, that's completely okay. If it's like 5 events in a row, that might be more problematic. Does that answer your question better, Ace? Also, fun fact, we're it's more the fact that like we expect GMs to give it the college try. Also, fun fact, we're printing over 20,000 trading cards for our Death Wish events and promos. That's amazing. Yes, Shivak, absolutely. I know, there it is. And the name will change. The name will change. It's so good. Oh. I'm very pumped on this design. Psycho DM71. Yes, we just launched this. So if you go, actually, can I see a show of hands if you want to be considered for in-person opportunities? If you want to do in-person GMing, can I see a show of hands for that? That's how you raise your hand. You do the lowercase o with a forward hand or /. Okay, 2 people, great. 3 people, 4 people. Okay. Well, 5, 6 people. Oh, okay. So it seems like many GMs are very interested in the idea of running in-person games. You know who else is interested in that? Boom! All of us here at Start Playing. It's just a really hard thing. Like, you think kids games is hard? Let me tell you, buddy. In-person games is gonna be just as hard, if not harder. But there's a lot that we're going to have to do. There's a lot we're going to have to learn. I see 5 phases to in-person. And if you find me out about at a convention and I've had maybe at least 2 High Life beers, I will tell you all 5 of those phases. But right now, they're all hypothetical phases. But really what's coming about this is we have to do a lot of research. And it's going to be hard to do that research if we don't know what GMs are interested to be in-person GMs right away. And so you opting in to say, hey, I want to be included in this. Show my location of players if you're doing a new feature that does that, or if you have an opportunity that's in person, I want to be part of that, makes it really easy. We did an event in Chicago. It was kind of hard to find GMs for that because the way we were doing location was just free form. So we had to essentially like do people put Chicago, or they put Illinois, or they put, we had to essentially do like a mapping to figure that out. This way, it is a very clear path to the locations I'm in, so we can use a database to look at, hey, here's the people we have here. Here's how many people, if we expand that radius, we can essentially do like drop a pin, sort of. I mean, we can essentially say like, hey, if we are to say in Chicago, what people do we have in a 200-mile radius? We can look at all those GMs. And we say, great, let's go ahead and message those people and see if they'd be interested to participate in X event. Because certain in-person events are going to be a great path forward to rolling out in-person gaming. And so that's why we want to start getting this now, so that we have a lot of GMs committed, or not committed, but signed up for it, so that when we start rolling things out, we have GMs that are already interested or that we've already collected. Rather than like, hey, here's the in-person page for New York and there's 2 GMs on it. Now, one thing we do notice is like we want to prioritize GMs who are like thriving on the platform, GMs who are running games, and so that's going to be where the focus is first. So if you are an active GM on the platform, even if you're just running 1 game or you're running 20 games, like those are the GMs that are going to be prioritized. So if you're not running any games yet, like focus on running your games online. But if you are running any number of games, you will end up with priority for those in-person events and in-person opportunities. Let's see. Let's see. We got some questions. Oh Lord, I gotta run interference at the happy hour. I live in a desert. Question: what if we bring you a third beer? I did the Chicago event. It was great. I love that. Can't wait to move to LA. Could be easy to find players there in the small city of Statesville. David, question: I run and part of an amateur game maker club, and was wondering if playtesting would be a good idea for a game listing tag. I believe there is a playtest game. There's a homebrew. I think there's something like that. I think, let's see. I think there is something like that when you go to create a listing, there's playtest as an option of like what kind of game you're running, David. Question, can you make it a larger area than 250 miles? I've driven 7 hours to New York City to run a private game before, and I'm happy to do so again, Odd Squirrel. Well, I threw out 250 as a just hyperbole. So who knows what that number will be? We got to do research first. I'm 40 games from 2,000 games. Congrats, Dreams. Question: the teacher educator identity tag, is that for IRL teachers? I mean, like a teaching. That's for. I'm actually a teacher. Like that's my job. I'm a teacher or I'm an educator of some sort. Let's see. Yes. So in person should be very exciting. Question: why has the setting of $0 been changed? I must have missed the notes for this, but I'm curious. Having to set free sessions are sometimes a hassle. Zerefik X90. Zerefik-X90. I'm not sure what you mean. Are you saying that you being able to set someone's next session free, a player to free, or be able to create a session that is free? Admiral Adventures, what days are you and the team at Gen Con? Thursday to Sunday. Maybe put the distance as a range, and the GM can choose how far they are willing to travel. Psycho DM, you're getting too far into product thinking. We haven't gotten to problem thinking yet. We got to focus on problem thinking, because here's the thing: is we want to solve not only for private games, for GMs who want to list public games for discovery. We want to figure out how to service game stores and how the game store and GM relationship works. There's so many factors to it. And then there's also corporate games, and then there's also the idea of players having custom requests that come that aren't looking to hire a GM directly. They're just like, hey, start playing. I'm looking for this, and they put this out, and then we go ahead and set them up with the GM. So there's all these use cases that we need to solve for, and then there's also the idea of conventions. I don't know if you know this, but conventions are usually in person. Many conventions are in person. So when I talk about start playing in person, eventually conventions are part of that. Now, maybe not the very first, but that could be phase 5. David, I believe it's the actual game system. I believe game system is playtest. But here's the thing: players aren't likely looking for that. I think there's also homebrew. But yeah, I believe it's the system choice. Yeah. Jack, be brutal. What's the most appealing problem case, RE, in-person gaming that you're hoping to approach first? Oh gosh, the most interesting. Well, how we help game stores. That's not going to be early. That's going to be probably later. But how we help game stores, because think about how cool it'd be if you're like, I'm in LA and I can see all the games happening. I can see all the games happening at game stores, all the games happening at breweries, all the games happening in all of LA, and I can see which ones I want to join. How cool would that be? That would be amazing. And that sounds fantastic. And being able to make that happen and make that easy would be great. And game stores being able to also connect with GMs. Be like, hey, I want to find some cool GMs in the area and like recruit them to come run games at the store. And like, there's so many great opportunities here. It's just, where do you start and where's the biggest opportunity and how do you expand from there? Let's see, question. Could there be a feature that allows for adventures created under a template, but they don't go live for advertising right away, or at least a space to say when you're anticipating to starting? Icon644, I would maybe kind of wait until you're ready to start if you're not ready. But for the most part, games, what we've noticed is, and you also could, if you have at least one person who's committed, you could activate your game at least one and schedule way out. But players usually start booking within 21 days out at the latest, and then the other half usually kind of book within the 3 days before a game starts. So if you're looking to start a game in 6 months, or 3 months, you're probably not going to get a lot of value out of having it advertised. Something to keep in mind. Question for in-person games, would there be a way to have multiple GMs assigned to a campaign? Oh my gosh, that's like asking me if you open up a pie shop, are you going to have ice cream in this flavor? I mean, who knows? Maybe. Adam, that's so hard to answer that question because, so many questions about in-person just require research and trying to figure out what is the problem for players. And I don't think I think multiple players for multiple GMs for a store account, like an organizer account, but I don't think for a campaign. And I think you have to look at maybe games differently for in person than you do online. Do you have any crazy pie in the sky ideas that would take a ton of time and resources that you'd love to tackle for Start Playing as a whole? Barton Lee? Yeah, of course. Oh my gosh. But I can't tell you. They're a secret because we're going to do them. If this becomes a central service for game stores doing in person, that'd be big. I think it would be great. Because the idea is, there's so many things that are very disparate right now when it comes to being able to find games. Some stores use Shopify, some use Eventbrite, some use, they all use these different platforms, and so discovery just isn't as valuable, right? And so if discovery is really easy, that would be great for everyone. In the artist who made the cat merch available for the thumbnail commission, can we afford them? I love that style. It was not very affordable. It was a little pricier than what we normally pay artists. I was like, I love your stuff. I'd love to do something with you. Or maybe, no, actually, I think it wasn't cheap, but it was appropriate. It wasn't cheap. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to figure out which. I remember what we had, it was art, and they quoted us, and I was like, yeah, no, let's do it. And I was like, man, that's so expensive, but like, it's such a good design, and like, they're such a good artist. And I just, I really want to, because like all our design, we always love to support artists, right? But I was just trying to, we had talked for so long, and I just, I was like, this is like $500 more than I wanted to pay. But I was like, but they're so good, and I know the design's gonna be great. I don't think it was her. I think it was someone else, but I can't remember how much this was. But I need to get her info, and I'll put it on the page. It was like last second before office hours that I got the landing page for this up, but I'll go ahead and get her details thrown up there later today. Let's see. Adam says, for instance, I have a standing agreement with a local brewery for a large 50-player Max Adventures League style homebrew game that would need multiple GMs to run. Yeah, but I think that's more of like I don't think that's like a campaign per se. That feels like more of like a it feels more of like an event that they're selling for that have GMs who are running for that event, right? So like that feels more of like convention game or live event game rather than your regular kind of like ongoing campaign. So that's where I'm saying like that feels completely different from like how the site currently works. Manual Monster. IRC bounties are gated behind top gem status, which requires 90 paid games per 30 days, 3 to 4 weeks. Is there some way for those with fewer paid games to qualify for bounties? Manual Monster. You might start somewhere where you're not there, but the longer you run games and start playing, you are going to get there as long as you continue to run great games. I think, and it's actually 90 days, 30 paid games in 90 days. So you have that backwards. So Manual Monster, it's completely feasible, and it's we kind of set that there as a path so you know how to get there to get that top gem status. It's something completely within your grasp. So you got this. It's more just continue running great games, and you can get that top gem status, get that bounty board. The whole reason why we kind of expose those stats and we kind of change some of them is so that even if you did game them, you're just becoming a better GM, which just means that you're running better games and the players are getting a great experience. So the dice are in your hands. All right. A question: I'm a GM and I haven't had any games yet, and I haven't made a template. Do you think Pirate Borg would help with that? Axinator 20, I would recommend starting. You can't have any success unless you start. So whether it be Pirate Borg, whether it be D&D, the best thing you could do is start. Actually, the best thing you do is take the onboarding. If you haven't taken the onboarding, take the onboarding. Take the onboarding and then start. Nervous about adding my location to my public jam page. Will the location be public to even online games? Eventually, yeah. Jake, astounding. It could be anywhere. That's why it's an opt-in. You got to toggle it because we might display it somewhere. We might, people might be able to look, by location. The whole idea is you're choosing to opt into this. So if you are hesitant about your location, then do not opt in. Now, again, when you opt into your location, you do not give us like what you put on your GM profile is not your home address, right? You're putting in essentially like a city and state. So you should feel comfortable and confident on whatever level of detail that you add to your profile, knowing that it could be visible to a user that's visiting the site. So keep that in mind. That's right, run your best game. Run your best game. I got to Top GM, how hard could it be? He did it, he did a thing. Take the onboarding. I'm working on content creation around here, so I'm fine with it, great. New York City, good luck everyone else. Yes, so remember, yeah, run your best games and opt into location only if you're okay with people knowing what city you live in. I need to take the monthly onboarding. We're actually going to start rolling out weekly onboardings, I think, and they're just 30-minute calls, and it's just a staring contest. Okay, team, I think that's it. I think we reached the end of our office hours, and I've tried to make sure I answered as many questions as we had this time, and no new questions came into the anonymous forum while we were chatting, so we are good. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Thank you so much. Jack, Be Brutal, question, SBG changed my life. I'm completely serious. Thank you. Jack, Be Brutal, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad. I hear that more often than ever as we grow, and I do not tire of hearing of the impact we've made for people's groups and for people's livelihoods, and it is not lost on me the burden we have to make sure that we are good stewards to continue to do that, making sure that we can make people happy with the kind of work they do, and we keep making communities. So thank you. I appreciate that. All right, team. Well, we're going to go start shipping out these shirts that you're ordering. Thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you in 2 weeks if you want this. If you want this shirt. Yeah. Okay, team. Thanks so much. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.
About the old prophecy, and we all sing songs at the tavern of the fights that we have won, and we dream about our next victory. Come away, adventure calls today, and tomorrow we'll tell of our tale. Come away, we'll see that dragon slain, but before we go, let's drink one more ale. burn down the tavern. No, we won't burn down the tavern. Come away, come away. Adventure calls today, and tomorrow we'll tell of our tale. Come away, come away. We'll see that dragon slain. But before we go, let's dream. But before we go, let's dream. But before we go, let's dream. One more ale. We've come on down to the tavern for trouble and for fun, and to talk about the